It all began with something so small, so seemingly insignificant, that most people would have easily brushed it aside. Yet, in an unexpected twist of fate, that very moment ended up altering the course of everything that followed. It's fascinating how small moments can lead to significant changes. Prior to that pivotal moment, life was ticking along in a pretty ordinary fashion. The air was alive with the hustle and bustle that accompanies daily existence. You could hear the sound of coffee machines brewing, the persistent ringing of phones, and the quiet hum of ambition nestled deep within the hearts of countless individuals. Entrepreneurs were everywhere you turned, each one fueled by an intense desire to carve out their own unique paths in the world. Yet amidst this vast sea of aspiration, a particular narrative began to take shape. It was a narrative that glorified the self-made entrepreneur, the individual who built their empire from the ground up, all on their own, without any help. But that narrative is often misleading. At that point, nothing felt particularly urgent or pressing. Many people accepted this narrative without a second thought, believing wholeheartedly that success was simply a matter of hard work and grit, coupled with an unyielding determination. But beneath this shiny surface, there lay a very different story, one that was often left untold, buried beneath layers of glorification and myth. Then gradually things began to shift. But it wasn't a sudden or dramatic change. It was more like a subtle change in the atmosphere, just enough to make things feel a bit off-kilter. I remember sitting on my couch one evening, playing a game, when I stumbled upon the stories of these so-called self-made entrepreneurs. It's important to question the narratives we accept. Each tale was punctuated with grand declarations like, "I built this company from nothing with my bare hands." But as I continued to read, I couldn't help but question the authenticity of these claims. How could so many individuals confidently assert that they had achieved success in complete isolation without any external support? And that's usually how it starts, isn't it? The tension begins to build, and the seeds of doubt slowly creep in. I found myself paying closer attention to the patterns emerging from these stories, noticing the unspoken truths that lurked just beneath the surface of this glorified image of entrepreneurship. Recognizing those truths is crucial. I began to recognize the stories that highlighted the supportive partner who managed household responsibilities, the unpaid interns who contributed tirelessly without any recognition, the infrastructure built by others that made their work possible, and the education systems that provided critical knowledge and connections, often overlooked in the grand narrative. There was a moment, a particularly poignant moment, when it became undeniably clear that something had to change. It suddenly dawned on me that this myth of rugged individualism was not merely a narrative. It was a deeply damaging belief that perpetuated feelings of inadequacy among aspiring entrepreneurs. That realization can be transformative. This myth whispered to us that needing help was a sign of weakness, that asking for support meant you weren't a real entrepreneur. It was harmful in a way that made people feel like they were failing, when in reality, success is often a collective endeavor, even when one person stands front and center receiving the accolades. After that realization, the outcome wasn't dramatic, it was simply different. I began to engage in conversations that acknowledged the invisible support systems that contribute to entrepreneurial success. I started to listen intently to stories shared by fellow entrepreneurs who opened up about how mentorship, community, and family support played instrumental roles in their journeys. Those conversations are vital for growth. And that difference, that subtle shift in perspective, is what most people never truly notice. So what does all of this mean for you? It means that success is rarely, if ever, a solo venture. It's a rich tapestry woven from the threads of community, support, and often privilege. And once you come to understand that, a lot of things start to fall into place. Embracing that community is key. You begin to realize that seeking help is not an admission of failure. Rather, It is an integral part of the journey. Embrace the collective effort that shapes your path, and you may find that your own narrative of success is richer, more nuanced, and ultimately far more fulfilling than you ever imagined.